one of the advisors asks the white-haired young man, who is also addressed as Your Majesty, what will happen to Princess Eliza? The young man replies that since she tried to kill him, her kingdom will suffer the consequences. Before they can ask when he will meet the Princess of Fortuna, he slams the door in their faces. Inside his chambers, he meets a bird he calls Nina, who, in turn, calls him Set. After boasting that he only loves this bird, he wonders if Fortuna's blue bird will screech the way he likes. Bastea is located in the western region of the Kingdom of Galgata. Here resides the Crown Prince and future king, who has so far quelled 3 rebellions and conquered 2 nations. He is nicknamed the God of War. Later, one of the advisors informs the girl that Master Set will not be coming today. In her room, Mina, pouting, mentions that she waited for him all morning. In fact, lunchtime had already passed some time ago. At that moment, Hikami appears and tells her she will gain nothing by venting her anger on inanimate objects. He also suggests she change into something more comfortable. Apparently, the people who escorted Mina to this place left her with Hikami, someone trusted by the former king. Mina tries to speak to one of Galgata's servants, but is ignored. Another servant informs her that since the wedding is still 6 months away, she is free to do as she pleases and explore the castle at her leisure. Mina is surprised to notice that the servant did not even look her in the eye. She comments that this is the first time she has experienced such a thing. Determined to make the most of the situation, she begins to explore the castle, forming a mental image of what she imagines the prince might look like. As she wanders around, she hears someone calling out for Nina. Mistakenly thinking that she is being addressed, she decides to investigate. Suddenly, a bird swoops down on her, and when she turns to see who called out, she is met by a young man with silver hair and red eyes, as if they were made of porcelain. To her surprise, the bird returns to him. This young man is Set. Mina immediately realizes that he is the prince. Annoyed, she wonders why he hadn't come to see her if he had been in the castle all this time. However, before scolding him, she restrains herself, reminding herself that she must not get angry if she wants to make a good impression. She then formally introduces herself to Set, who curiously asks if Nina was her childhood nickname, as she turned around when she heard it. Embarrassed, Nina replies that it was something like that. Set remarks that his bird's name is also Nina, and that she has blue eyes. As Nina begins pecking at him, he complains that she's embarrassing him. Seeing this, Mina lets out a small laugh. However, Nina immediately calls her a fool and an idiot. Knowing she must endure the insults, Nina quickly begins interacting with the bird. Set observes her behavior and thinks she is quite an eccentric princess. He also notices a red mark on her forehead and considers it unfortunate if it leaves a scar. As a way of apology, he announces that a banquet will be held in her honor tomorrow to help her adjust to the castle more quickly. Mina finds him kinder than she expected. A month has passed since her arrival at the castle. However, every morning, she still feels a pang of sadness because those moon-like golden eyes are not there. Even so, Mina knows she must do her best to protect Azu and Fortuna. Currently, Mina is sitting with 2 other girls, Clemina and Mia, both princesses from vassal kingdoms. All 3 are marriage candidates chosen by the king of Galgata for Set. Mina doesn't give much importance to this, and confidently declares that she won't allow herself to be defeated. Suddenly, one of the girls starts shouting, demanding to be released, claiming she has no intention of rebelling. Set coldly tells her that her outburst was very rude, and that she might have offended the Princess of Fortuna. The girl quickly apologizes to Nina, who attempts to diffuse the tension. The other girl, tired of the charade, rises from her seat and declares that it's obvious Set doesn't consider any of them as serious candidates, and she can't take it anymore. Set calmly asks if she would prefer to end up like Eliza. Tired of the situation, Set decides to leave, stating that they've ruined his good mood and clearly have no intention of marrying him. Nina runs after him, but the other girls stop her, warning that he killed Princess Eliza and urging her to flee with them. Ignoring their warnings, Nina follows the prince, determined to fulfill her mission. Her only wish is to become the Queen of Galgata and protect Azu's life. She soon catches up to Set. Though she initially planned to confront him about the other girls, she instead declares that no matter what happens, she'll be happy to be his wife. Set takes Nina to a room and tells her that if that's the case, she should start fulfilling her duties as a wife in bed, as that is the main role of a queen. Shocked, Nina asks him to wait, insisting she isn't ready and that they aren't even married yet. Set coldly replies that there are still 6 months left, and he doesn't see why she would need additional time to prepare. Without further ado, he pushes her onto the bed and positions himself behind her. Terrified, Mina begins to cry, saying she doesn't want this. Set, however, bursts into laughter and mocks her, calling her a reckless and foolish princess. He tells her that no one would want to sleep with her, and that this is what she gets for carelessly uttering phrases like, "no matter what." He reveals that he was only playing along with her game. Set then explains that on the day she arrived at the castle, Princess Eliza attempted to stab him. In response, he eliminated her entire clan, who had been planning a revolt. He warns Mina that she will be nothing more than a puppet for his benefit. At that moment, Mina realizes that the former king's concerns about Golgotta's intentions were justified. Set tells Mina that if she defies him, she'll die, and if she loses her mind from pain, she'll die as well. He adds that he's eager to see which fate she'll choose. Mina realizes he has no intention of ever treating her as a potential wife. Afterward, all Mina can do is retreat to her room, struggling to hold back tears. Later, she lies in bed, ignoring Hikami's calls for her to get up and eat. As she reflects, she realizes she never truly thought through what it means to be queen. Despite her ambitions, she knows she cannot protect Azu or risk her life in her current state. For the first time, she fully understands how naive and reckless her plan was. She berates herself, feeling foolish, weak, and useless, doubting she'll ever achieve anything. Nina's thoughts drift back to Fortuna, recalling one of her many arguments with Azur. In the midst of their little quarrel, she remembers something he said that struck her deeply. She had been suffering long before arriving at the castle. Nina knows he was right. Throughout her life, she had endured great hardship, often feeling powerless and worthless. Danger and despair had been constants in her daily reality. Yet, despite her misery, she had always managed to smile. She reflects that even the smallest good moments had felt like miracles to her. Those tiny joys and her beloved treasure had always been there. She just needed to look for them. With this realization, Mina awakens, her lips softly forming Azur's name. Mina tries the dish Hikami prepared for her and realizes how much better food tastes when it's made especially for you. Reflecting afterward on the options Set gave her, she begins to wonder what might happen if she chose neither. She concludes that the first step she must take is to smile. With renewed determination and an aura of happiness, Mina sets out to explore the castle, greeting everyone she meets. Some servants are taken aback by her attitude, especially considering what she endured during Set's initiation. Despite themselves, a few return her greeting, finding it hard to ignore the warmth in her blue eyes. Eventually, Mina reaches the room where Set is, but his servants block her entry, claiming he's very busy. However, Mina notices that he isn't doing anything important and boldly starts calling out to him, insisting on speaking with him. One servant steps forward, reminding her that even as a princess, she cannot speak to Master Set unless he addresses her first. Unfazed, Mina loudly declares that they should inform Set she has no intention of defying him or falling into despair. Instead, she announces she will not play his game and, as his queen, will make herself indispensable to him. Set reacts with a sharp laugh, calling her a fool. He coldly states that nothing in this world is truly indispensable, and reminds her of the rule: she may only speak to him when spoken to. He warns her that breaking this rule again will have severe consequences. Set then orders his servants to remove Nina, muttering to himself about her rudeness and absurd honesty. In his mind, it would be better if she simply succumbed like the others. Meanwhile, Mina feels a lingering fear. Set's piercing gaze and cutting words had almost devoured her, but she resolves to press forward, refusing to yield to despair. As Nina wanders around the castle, she wonders what she can do to make this work. However, she quickly recovers and tells herself that she won't be discouraged or afraid, because all royalty faces challenges. Even if 100 bad things happen, something good will always come. At that moment, as she turns a corner, she bumps into someone. After composing herself, Mina calls out to her, "Colin." She then notices that the girl resembles an adorable acquaintance. The girl asks Mina if she is a princess, confesses that she has only been at the castle for 3 days as a servant, and isn't sure if it's okay to talk to someone like her. Mina reassures her, telling her not to worry, that she's worth less than an insect in this place, and asks her as a favor to become her friend. We learn that the girl's name is Anne. Anne agrees, and Mina excitedly tells her that she is her first friend. Later, Nina meets up with Hikami and tells him that she has made a new friend, a newly arrived maid. Mina even asked her to teach her some of her duties and plans to give her a nice gift as thanks. Hikami, seeing the gift Mina wants to give her, suggests that since Anne is a maid, she should give her something simpler. He advises Mina to be more cautious, warning her not to risk angering the Prince of Galgada. Finally, Mina gives Anne a small gift. Moved, Anne says she has nothing to give Mina in return. However, Mina doesn't mind. Still, Mina says that what surprises her the most is that they are forbidden from speaking to the princesses. Anne comments that there is no rule prohibiting them from talking to the princesses. Mina thinks that maybe it's because she's from another country. Hearing Anne's gratitude, Mina feels that something good has finally happened. The next day, Mina sets out with her usual enthusiasm. After walking around the castle for a bit, she notices Anne being scolded for trying to take one of Nina's feathers. Anne tries to defend herself, saying she just thought it was pretty and seeing that it was about to be thrown away. However, the man tells her that that's called stealing. Anne replies that she thought it was trash. The man assumes she is calling the great Nina trash and draws his sword, saying she will pay with her own blood. Mina intervenes, saying that Anne has just started working there and doesn't know anything about it. The man says that's no excuse since, even if it's a fallen feather, everything belongs to Master Set. At that moment, Set arrives. Mina quickly asks if even the dust on the floor belongs to him. Set immediately asks if he spoke to her, then mentions that Fortuna has angered him. Mina quickly replies that Fortuna has nothing to do with it, as she came from there to Galgada to marry, and now she's part of Galgada. Hearing this, Set says that, in that case, he wouldn't mind killing her right there. Mina tells him that if it would calm him down, then go ahead. Hikami runs to try and stop Set. However, Set draws his sword and injures Mina in the chest. She, having never felt anything like it, feels as if it's burning and wonders if she's going to die. Set tells her that if she gets immediate attention, she'll survive. Hikami believes this is cruel and fears she'll be left with a scar. Set doesn't care, as he says he'll be the only one to see her body. Hearing this, Mina gets up, emphasizing what he just said, which can only mean one thing: he intends to make her his queen. Mina places a hand on Set's chest and tells him that he has made her immensely happy. At that moment, Mina faints, but Set manages to catch one of her hands, wondering what on earth is wrong with this princess. If you've reached this point in the video, don't forget to leave the word exquisito in the comments. Thank you very much, and see you in the next video.